Hello there, my name is Paula. Welcome to People with Paula. This is the show that brings you entertainment from across the globe. What is happening in fashion, lifestyle, economic, entertainment, beauty, art, and finance and the political scene in across the world. This is the show that brings you entertainment direct to your TV screens. Also, you get the chance to interact with different personalities, CEO, leaders, artists, and musicians across the world. Welcome to People with Paula. On this week's episode of People with Paula, I bring you Mr. Richard Fitzgerald, the CEO of Lovin Dubai. Good morning, how are you?
Hi Paula, thanks for having me on your podcast.
Thank you so much for joining us. First and foremost, congratulations on your engagement. How was Saudi?
Very nice, thank you very much.
Great. So first and foremost, let's understand, how did you come up with Lovin Dubai?
I was working in the media and advertising world for about 10 years, originally in Dublin and then London and then based in Dubai but across the region. And it was at the time where new media brands were finding a life in their own through social media. And I just felt there was an opportunity there. A friend of mine had set up Love in Dublin. I spoke to him and I signed a 10-year area developer agreement with him to start Love in Dubai in 2015, and I left my well-paid big job within WPP Network and the responsibility that had, and took a risk with the publishing industry, and went from there. We're nearly 9 years later now.
Oh, fantastic. That's so insightful. And how did you grow the brand? Because I understand you mentioned that you left your job and it was like a new, entirely different territory for you. How were you able to navigate the challenges that come with that?
Yeah, it was. I mean, at some level, it totally was, right? It was actually being an entrepreneur, and it was in the media publishing space. But on the other side, I was already an entrepreneur. I had a SBU, a small business unit. I had a P&L. I was responsible for what I did within the organization. I was running the social media department, and then media is a little bit like advertising and managing social media for clients. I was just managing social media for a publishing company. So on some levels, there was extra challenges, but on other levels, I still feel like I'm an employee. I just employ myself, and I just show up at work every day, and I just work really hard, like I always did. How do we navigate? How did I navigate? There were some hiccups and bumps. There always are. And I just sort of found a way through it, I guess.
Oh, great. When people get into entrepreneurship and new businesses, like you said, you got it from your friend in Dublin, some people start and then stop the business, yeah, when things get tough. So why didn't you stop?
One of the values, Paula, like the business I set up is Augustus Media, and our aspiration is to be the modern media company of choice in the Middle East and North Africa. And the values that we have are tenacity, ingenuity, and velocity. And being tenacious and never giving up and never expecting gratitude or thanks, is very something that I'd learned through doing client service and, doing a lot of work in marketing, that you just get on with it. And if someone else gets a reward or if something else happens, you just keep going. And it's similar to how I do a lot of endurance sport myself, and you just keep going. So the tenacious part is, you just rinse, repeat. You just do the same things every day. Everything compounds. You just keep going. So when the going gets tough, it's not like the tough get going. Like, you're just already going. Mm-hmm. So you just keep going. You don't sort of wake up when it gets tough, because you're not in the flow. You're not in the zone. It's much easier when you're already consistent, when you're already showing up every day, when you're already fit, strong, and ready for work. And when things happen that are difficult, you're just ready to deal with it as they come at you,
Oh, sounds fantastic. Would you say that the discipline also that you gained from sports is one of the things that kept you pushing forward?
Yeah, I think that discipline for sports is part of it. I think the values we have in the company are designed to create an environment and behavior types that help deal with the type of business that we need to be. and the discipline in sport just helps me navigate. It helps me that harmony and that work-life balance. It just helps everything flow together. It also, today is Saturday morning, and usually by the end of the week on a Friday, when I get home, I'm stressed. Usually, it's just part of it. There's definitely a lot of noise and a lot of things that happen. And the best way for me, and it's a system and flow that I found, is just to go in a long endurance activity. This morning I just cycled for 3 hours with a group of friends, and I just feel I wasn't stressed at all week. I feel absolutely brilliant now.
Oh,
Whereas if you asked me that
fantastic.
last night, I would have been like, hey, my body, my mind has, and also the decisions that I'm struggling with at the moment or whatever, they're just easier after that kind of meditative flow that I get through endurance sport. But yeah.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. A fun fact, I don't know how to ride a bicycle. So I think I should join you and your group for some sessions.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you started, did you have like a support system around you, or was it just you, God, against the world?
Yeah, I didn't really have a support system, unfortunately, but yeah, I didn't really have a support system. I was a single entrepreneur, and I was kind of on my own in that, and I kind of had to do it myself, I guess.
Oh wow, that's quite insightful. Okay, in regards to that and the fact that you did not have a support system and you still went forward and grew Loving to Dubai to the show that it is today, and the Instagram pages and everything else that I see Loving Sharjah, Loving Kuwait, and so on and so forth. What values or principles guide the editorial decisions and content creation at Loving Dubai to make it such a powerful brand in the Middle East?
I think the support came along the way. My sister is a trained journalist, and she's a strong contributor. There's a good board of directors, friends and family who gave invested at the start. They've been there for 8 or 9 years, and so that support system for Lovin. Yeah, we've a couple of key brands under Augustus Media. We have Lovin, which is a city horizontal based brand, and we have a Smashy, which is a vertical base, more aspirational content. Lovin is a local news and lifestyle brand. It's in 22 cities across the region, 10 of which we feel are meaningful in the cities that they're at, and others are growing. And the editorial decisions, it's a local news, so we will do local news. We will report on things that are based in the city within the media guidelines of the region. And then we have a lens, like a viewpoint, an outlook of the world or the city, which is love and life, which is, telling community stories, trying to sort of look at the things that uplift us throughout the day. And it's that love and life, that YOLO. I want to go travel. I want to see the nice restaurant. I want to have fun with my friends. I want to, what's happening now? Where's the fun happening across the city and stuff like that?
Oh, great. And in a rapidly evolving digital landscape, how does Loving Dubai stay innovative and adapt to changing trends and audience preferences?
That's a really good question, Paul. I think, that's literally what we try and do every day. And you phrased it really well. It is rapidly changing. I chat to some friends in other sectors like aviation and things like that, and they're like, yeah, we change every 10, 20, 30 years, Whereas with media, it changes every 10 weeks, it seems. Walking into the studio today, I have a guesstimate, and it's just me assessing the market, but I think there's about 3,000 people with Paula podcasts in Dubai. And I think about 1,000 of them are with Podster, and that's just an assessment of this. This wasn't there when I started Lovin Dubai. There weren't 3,000 individual creators on podcasts. So what do you do about that? What's the role of the Lovin Dubai show when we started in 2018? How many creators are on Instagram? What are the algorithm doing? Instagram now, when they introduced Reels sort of at the start of 2020, they were doing that to sort of, to shut down the IGTV app, and they were trying to keep up with the threat of TikTok. And now they're looking at the algorithm again. And I could go on, there's just perpetual state of change. And I think the values that we created in the company, the other one is velocity, is just move fast. And it's not move fast and break things like Facebook used to say. It's just move fast, momentum, create action. We like to be at leading edge, not cutting edge, so we don't need to be too far advanced. And I think sometimes we go too far advanced. You know, we went too far advanced with streaming. We started streaming in 2018, 2019, linear OTT, and it was a little bit too far advanced. And I think that will pay off eventually. But sometimes we like to be leading edge, so just at the cusp of where the populist mainstream is, without being too far advanced. So we keep an eye on what's happening. You know, we keep an eye on what's happening in other markets. We keep an eye on what are the things that can work here, and we go from there.
Oh, sounds great. And in a city and as diverse as Dubai, how does Lovin Dubai ensure inclusivity and representation in its content and community engagement?
I love your questions, Paula. Like, I already talked about tenacity and then velocity, about momentum, and their last value is about ingenuity. And ingenuity is that believing that everyone is, it's kind of that DEI, like, you know, the equity part, that everyone has a brain, everyone is can be empowered, everyone in the company can contribute. You know, we also want people to grow. We want people to have career development and growth within the company. I very much believe in that sort of system and environment of belonging for the team. And you know, I always think, sure, what we're doing is, and I really believe that we're one of the best companies in the world at what we do. I really believe that, but I don't think it would be possible without a city that's also one of the best cities in the world at what it does. And the melting pot of cultures that Dubai has created just works really well for us. And you know, I was one of those sort of employees who came from a top agency in London to run a department here. So I was one of those bring talent in mercenary types, right? But I think there'll always be a need for that in a city that's aspirational. But I think what I've realized is that we recruit within Dubai. We believe in the youth and the talent. The Hamad bin Rashid School of Journalism under AUD, we recruit from small universities like you know, SAE. We recruit from specialist universities. We recruit from AUS and places like that as well. And we've built 12,000 square foot studios in Dubai Production City. We test people out. We put them on camera. We let people tell the story of the city, and we let the people of the city come to us. You know, a lot of the city's full of PR agencies, some really, really good ones, and they will try and get coverage. I'm doing quotation marks. They'll try and get coverage, but we sort of say to them, hey, we don't do coverage. What we do is we do community stories. So, you know, if people are already talking about you, then we'll cover that. We're not necessarily going to create something to get people talking. People send us videos. People tell us what's happening. People tell us that they are more environmental focused. People tell us that they care about the gig economy workers, the captains, the people on bikes delivering their food. They care about those people, and they send us the videos and they show us their stories. They want to shout out the RTA or the police. They want to shout out things that they believe in that keeps their city safe, and they also want to keep things in the city that they like. And if they see people coming in doing things that they don't like, they say, not here, please. And they tell us that, you know. And I think, you know, people are loving Dubai. Like, the people are loving the city, and they love what the leadership has done, and they tell us that. And luckily, you know, we believe that, you know, each city has that, its own flavor of that.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up? Which city?
And Nairobi.
Nairobi,
Kenya.
Nairobi has floods at the moment. Have you seen?
Yeah. Yes, we are. It's actually a dire situation, and the government is working so hard to improve it. And well, also the UAE government gives some aid to the Kenyan government in regards to the relationship that they have, which is really great.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's a beautiful city. Yeah, I worked with a charity there once. I was in one of the slums briefly, but yeah, amazing city. A lot of runners. Maybe you ran if you didn't cycle.
Yes, I do. Yes, I definitely do. I definitely run. And actually, on that question, you really answered the next question I was about to ask you about how you maintain to give like authentic news. Because I follow Lovin Dubai, and a lot of the websites, sometimes they could report fake news, but when it comes to Lovin Dubai, the news are accurate, they are on point, and most of the time they are in real time. And I think also it's about what you mentioned about the community of people that you have around you that are feeding you what is happening on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. People do give us the information in real time, and we've built a system to publish in real time. We don't have deadlines. I remember journalists would come from magazine world, and they would be used to publishing deadlines, whether it's daily or weekly. And our deadline is now. It's not even a week. It's right now. So we've built a system around that for editorial approvals, for things to move fast. We have our own sort of unique system. But I think the city also, the media offices across the Emirates and in other cities have worked quite well with us. It's a fast-growing city, it's a fast-paced city, and information comes out really fast. So I think we do a good job. I wouldn't say we do. I think we do a very good job in the way that you can, but I wouldn't say it's perfect. And I think it's not that it's almost impossible to be perfect, but sometimes accurate information is shared with us. We publish it, and the reaction to it isn't favorable. Therefore, the information, the source changes, and it's kind of like, hey, we didn't kind of really mean it that way. And then you have to go, yeah, but like that's exactly how it was shared originally. And I think that's a bit of, we sort of we don't like to delete things. And if we delete things, we sort of put in our stories, we say, hey, that was deleted. It wasn't that it was inaccurate. It's more like it's this sort of like temperature check. Like, what's the public reaction to things? What are the comments like? And then, oh, hang on, we didn't really know. There was a story last week about a reaction to the floods, and a prominent figure made a statement, and it was covered in other media. And other media, everything was fine. And then we checked with the comms team. We have a really good relationship with them. And they said, yes, absolutely, please publish this. It's free PR for us. Yeah. And then when we published it with their approval, because we have a good relationship, the comments weren't favorable. Because it was like, hang on, it's not like that where I live, sort of thing, And they're like, hey, do you mind? And we're like, okay. But it wasn't like, oh, we've upset them. It's more like they just got more data and more information from the real feedback, because sometimes you can come out with information, it might look good in your team, it might be sense checked, it might be approved, and we get this a bit like, I remember I was speaking to a lawyer recently, and he's like, hey, it wasn't approved, and we're like, yeah, but you sent it to us, like it left your organization as a statement, and he's like, yeah, but I didn't approve it. I'm like, cool, but like maybe you need to chat to your departments, you know what I mean? And it's sort of interesting, and you understand them, because we've been doing this a long time. And before that, I've been doing social media for a long time. And you understand it, and it's like they're getting used to publishing in real time. They're getting used to this real-time dynamic. They're getting used to issuing statements. They're getting used to people judging every word, every letter, every image. And they're getting used to it. And you sort of, you're in the firing line, yet it's their words and their image, So we are understanding of people and things like that as well. But yeah, look, the nature of it is like that. A lot of the government entities are very good at giving real-time data, real-time feedback, and they're extensive. A lot of them have corp comms teams, whether it's the semi-state or the big listed companies. A lot of them have media offices. A lot of them are fast on WhatsApp. A lot of them have their own social profiles, and it's just getting a better and better city and region to do media in. And I'm really impressed with the Arab Media Forum is on in a week or two, and Dubai wants to be media capital of the region, and we really do think that we're building one of the leading modern media companies in the world, and we think by having Dubai as the canvas for that is incredible.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much for your insights. And we've spoken so much about business. I understand that Augustus Media actually hit their $1 million mark last year. There's so many other media companies that I know are making losses.
$10 million, yeah.
$10 million.
Revenue,
awesome. Yeah. 10 million.
Yeah.
$10 million, guys.
Yeah.
And I understand some media companies are making losses and you are making profits. So what really is the niche of Lovin Dubai that puts it above others and continue to make, consistent profits?
Well, if I told you, I'd have to. I think we're quite transparent, actually. I think, again, we want an ecosystem, we want an industry that's thriving. I think that that's important, and we don't really see direct competitors. We don't think of the print industry or the TV industry or the radio industry as direct competitors. And a lot of modern media companies in the US, elsewhere, haven't been profitable. And we were profitable without a back office, without a kitchen, without, we now have an office in Egypt, but that's really to be profitable in that market. We were profitable here since 2017. We were even profitable. We usually do between 20 and 25% EBITDA each year, and we were profitable even during the pandemic year. 7% that year net profit. I think we have a business model and we have a trained team that understand their roles, but we're not bulletproof. We don't. Our moat, as Warren Buffett would say, around our castle isn't what's the word? Yeah, bulletproof. Impenetrable. Lovely. You're the good host here, journalist. Yeah, and that's why we stay on our toes, and that's why we have the values that we have. We look at the data, we look at the things. We're always testing new things. We have invested in streaming. Our Smashy Sports channel does do AI live streaming for futsal, volleyball, handball, and basketball with the UE federations, the official leagues here. We've got thousands of subscribers on a subscription service for that. We're testing out CTV, connected TV advertising. We have 13 podcasts on the podcast network. We've got 7 hit shows on Snapchat in our Riyadh office in Saudi Arabia. We have Odium, Odeum, which is, from our Augustus terms, but Odium is our content studio. So we do white label content for brands and clients as well. And we launched Lovin merch. You can buy Lovin Dubai cups and hats and stuff like that. We match your red dress. Yeah. If you had a hat, I should have brought one. Yeah, so we do Lovin merch and stuff like that. And we test out these things that, you look at the world and you look at the creator economy and you look what's happening, where people are generating revenue on YouTube and soon to be more on TikTok and things like that. And you wonder what the role of a media company is. But I personally do believe that all podcasters, all content creators, eventually their aspiration is to become a media company, is to have their own studios, their own team, and their own events or books or conferences or things like that. And it's just democratized. So, we have our playbook, we have our rules of publishing, we have our strategy to achieve our mission, and we stick to it. It's this region, it's Middle East and North Africa. We have a map in our studios, and blue are the countries where we are already. We've and there's 22 countries across in our sort of Arab League definition, and we're in 11 of them. So we've at least one journalist in 11 of them, from Baghdad to Gaza to Muscat, and then the rest, and Bahrain, and the rest we have fully fledged offices. We've pretty much 5 offices now, 90 people. And we try and stay lean. We try and grow. We'll do $12 million gross revenue this year, and we just keep going. It's not bulletproof. It's not impossible. It's just well run. We have people who know what they're doing, and we try and replicate that success in other markets.
Congratulations. I would say congratulations for the growth that you've made with Lovin Dubai. Now we're done with business. Let's get into the fun section. Okay, if Lovin Dubai was a superhero, what would its superpower be?
I think community stories. I wouldn't say Robin Hood, steal from the rich, give to the poor, because we do believe in sort of capitalism and the virtues that it brings of prosperity for people. But I'm not sure. You didn't ask which superhero. You said superpower. So I think.
Yeah. And which superhero?
Well, definitely community stories is our superpower. A superhero. I would love to create new superheroes. I think, especially the Islamic world, this region needs more Islamic and more Muslim and regional superheroes. I think we adopt Western cultures too often.
Yeah.
And there was The 99 were a series of superheroes based on Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and Allah's superpowers as well, written in Kuwait in 2015, up until 2015. And I just think there's time for new superheroes. I wouldn't necessarily adopt existing superheroes.
Oh, great. Thank you. What's the weirdest request or inquiry Lovin Dubai has received from a reader or follower?
We get a lot, Paula. We get a lot. There's a ton. There's a really nice one recently. I don't think we covered the story, but there was a guy who met a girl at the beach and asked us to find her, and now they're getting married and engaged.
No way!
Really.
Awesome!
Well, yeah, I swear. It happened. And there's other ones like help us find an engagement place, but we literally found that girl for the guy. And
That's
now they're
really
getting engaged.
amazing.
Yeah, he DM'd us like a week ago saying, "Thank you guys. We went on a date, and it's 5 months later we're getting engaged." So they ask us to find people, and they ask us to find cats and dogs like all the time, all the time. There's probably 10 a day. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. If Lovin Dubai were an ice cream flavor, what toppings would be sprinkled on top?
These are great questions. This is a fun podcast. I don't know. Okay, so Lovin Dubai is a fun brand, so we definitely go for the trendy, more kind of contemporary flavors. Like, what's the cool in vogue flavors? Like something colorful, something like
Like
I
the
don't know.
rainbow sprinkles?
Yeah, something like that.
Great. And what's the most outlandish headline or news story that Lovin Dubai wishes it could publish, even if it's completely fictional?
We would never, ever, ever, ever publish something fake. So we have a list. Every year in April Fools, we come up with like a brand story. This year we said Taylor Swift made the Lovin Dubai national anthem. And then last year we said Elon Musk bought Lovin Dubai for $100 million. And people still congratulate us on our exit. People still literally congratulate us. There's actually, if you Google that, it's on investor.com as a legit headline. Like, people genuinely think Elon Musk owns Lovin Dubai, as well as Twitter or X.
Okay, thank you. If Lovin Dubai were to organize a citywide scavenger hunt, what will be the ultimate prize at the end be?
Yeah, when we reached 1 million followers on Instagram, we created an ultimate staycation in one of the nicest hotels address with the infinity pool, and we had a hot air balloon, and we did stuff like that. So I think it's the best of the city. I think it's the things that people really like. It's either something beautiful in the desert, or it's just something like that. People love sales and they love discounts and things like that. I think it's something with like lots of thousands of dirhams to spend in the malls. I think that would keep people happy. So we would definitely create like a perfect, staycation type. All you can shop, all you can spend, all you can eat, all you can enjoy of Dubai. That would be the prize.
Thank you so much. And now, as we conclude, we will have like a few insights onto your journey. Looking back at Lovin Dubai's journey so far, what are you most proud of accomplishing?
I think just being relevant to people in the city. I think when people tell me they got off a plane, or even before they were moving to Dubai, that they followed Lovin Dubai for 6 months to know what's happening. I think just being relevant, just actually providing value. And a lot of people will say, oh, it's just news, it's free, anyone can do it. But like, we've had a lot of competitors. We've had a lot of people who've tried to do the same thing. Personally, I'm proud of being able to build a viable media business. I was just recognised by the Ministry of Human Resource and Labour on International Workers' Day and Labour Day on the 1st of May. I got a little gold medal, and they made a little documentary on us and what I've achieved here in 12 years. And, I'm personally proud of that. But, Paula, when I walk into the office every day, and when we have a new joiner, we have a new starter lunch, and we have 35 people in the other offices, and when we see them, and some of them their first jobs, we have 15 people in our Riyadh office, and some of them are females who are the first females to have jobs in their in their family, and when they come home from work on their first day, the family have a cake for them and stuff like that. I just love seeing that. Like, it really gives me joy, and I think that's really what we want to. That's what we want to continue to do.
Oh, that's really impressive and it's really great. And I just love the fact that not only for, like, as you said, for you building the business, you're also opening up like women to the workplace and to be able to just go out and make a living of themselves. And what is your advice to aspiring entrepreneurs looking to start their own media or content driven ventures?
People like you.
Yeah, people like me.
Yeah, well, you've got personality, and you're obviously doing a good here, a good job with this and this show. I like it. The advice, I think it's just hard work. Embrace new media, but also be realistic about it. It is a business, and you need to know what your business model is, whether it's monetizing audiences or whether it's doing services for clients or content production. I think you really need to have a vision, but also be realistic about the business aspect of it. We shied away from raising big money and big valuations, and we just, Paula, we see ourselves like a restaurant. What do a restaurant look at? What's the ingredients? What's the price on the menu? How much food do you bring in versus what are the customers willing to pay for at the end of any given month? And is the input more than the output? What's the value at the end of the month? We look at the P&L every month, and we look at everything we're doing, and have we brought in more than we've in revenue and sales than we've costs, right? So it's a cost exercise. That's all it is, and you have to look at it like that. If you don't look at it like that, you're in trouble big time. So I think the restaurant analogy is interesting. It's about being resourceful with the resources that you have, and not being wasteful, and understanding your customers, and not giving food away for free, not making content for the sake of making content. Always think, is this going towards something? Is this building an audience that I can monetize, or am I being paid for that? So we very much look at it in a business sense, and that stood to us.
Okay, thank you very much. What message would you like to share with the Loving Dubai community and readers as you continue this journey together?
I think how you've put it there, the last phrase of continue the journey together, I think that I want us to continue the community. Tell us what you want, guys. Tell us what there is, and we want passionate people to be part of Lovin in whatever city. When we do Lovin Nairobi, inshallah, one day we want a cool team there. We're already in many places. We're not too far away from Nairobi. We have Lovin Khartoum, which is showing the wonderful culture and the dancing and the music, and of course there's atrocities taking place there at the moment. But we believe in the cultures. We believe in local people. Either sending us stories or working for us, and at the same point, we want this region. Media in this region is nascent. It's a couple of 100 years. If you look at when newspapers started, if you look at when the printing press, if you look at things like that. But the beautiful thing about media in this region is that it's embraced the internet at the same time as the rest of the world. So in the new media, we're not that far behind. In the old media, the region was far behind. But in the new media, we're not that far behind. And I tell that to our team when we start a new city. They'll say, oh, X was here 10 years before us. They've got X followers on, I don't mean Twitter X or whatever, but they name a local news channel in Qatar or in Egypt and tell me these guys are ahead of us. And I'm like, cool, they might be ahead of us on the website or on the newsletter or on the app or on the Facebook or on Instagram, but they're only a year ahead of us on TikTok, or they're only a year ahead of us on podcasts, so, and some of them haven't even started these channels, and these are the new media. So I think that's part of what Lovin Dubai is, and I think that's the journey that we're willing to continue with people, and to give us a chance to give us feedback. Ultimately, we're trying to provide value. We're trying to tell emotive stories. We're trying to tell the stories of the city. I do believe media is the fourth estate. I do believe it's almost as important. Content and storytelling and zeitgeist and capturing what's happening is as important as other functions in the city.
Okay, fantastic. And for anybody maybe that is out hit there. And for anybody that is out there and watching our channel, do you have maybe any work opportunities for them? Is Loving Dubai hiring?
We're always looking for good talent. It's coming up to the summer months now, so we take on a lot of internships. We test out new channels. if you go on the Augustus Media website, it's actually we WEARE, we are Augustus.com. There's a career section there. You follow us on Instagram. You can also obviously DM Lovin Dubai. There's you'll be redirected on the career section on the Lovin Dubai or any of the Lovin cities or the Lovin website to the career section. Send us an email. Like there was a lady in Manchester. We usually don't recruit from outside the region. She just wrote an article why we should hire her, and we didn't have a role in Dubai, but we were opening an office in Abu Dhabi, and we brought her over, and she's a star. She's amazing. I love her work ethic. I love her attitude, and she said the cost of living crisis in the UK. I just want to live in the UAE, and I wanted to move to the UAE. I will take the Abu Dhabi job, and she's taken it, and she's been brilliant. And that we didn't have a role. We weren't looking. We didn't have vacancy in Dubai, but her application was so strong, and her personality was so strong, and it's worked. It's really worked. The relocation worked. So. And similarly, there's young people who've just sent us tweets that have got jobs or sent us DMs and things like that.
Oh, fantastic. So remember, in case you're looking for job opportunities at Augustus Media, please go to www.weareaugustus.com.
Yeah, we have Smashy Business and Smashy Sports. Smashy Business is a rising star for us. We have a really good editor, Lubna Hamdan, who's leading that. And, you can see our podcast, our newsletter, and Instagram. We have two of the Smashy channels really active, Smashy Sports, Smashy Business. But there's lots of verticals. There's Smashy Style, there's Smashy Gaming, Smashy Crypto, Smashy Home, and there's all these different channels that we're eventually, with the right time and the right people, we have the studios, we have the space, we have the business model, we have the contacts. We want people who want to be media personalities, we want people who want a career, who want to learn, and who want to be part of what is, inshallah, the leading modern media company in the region.
Great, fantastic. And finally, what is the one quote that you live by?
I haven't lived by many quotes, but if I go back to the values, like I was thinking, we started with tenacity, so I'll end with the tenacity. The harder you work today, the more you're rewarded tomorrow. Everything compounds. Just keep going.
The harder you work today, the better you get paid tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sounds fantastic. Thank you so much, Richard, for gracing our show today. This has been People with Paula with Mr. Richard Fitzgerald, the CEO of Lovin Dubai. Thank you for your time.